Everything, everywhere, all at once. Um, so I was very excited for this movie. Let me move my seat back a little bit. So I was really excited for this movie. I've been looking forward to it for a while now. Whenever I see an A24 movie's coming out, I just know that it's probably going to be either really good, really weird, or both. And this looked like it was going to be both. And I was excited to see it. I finally found a theater that was showing it, and I saw it at 10:20 at night, and I got home at around 1 in the morning. So that's the thing. But in some ways, this movie, and listen, before I heard about this movie, there was a lot of hype around it. Like, it was getting tens across the boards. Everybody was saying this is the movie of the year, and I'm like, we're like 4 months into the year, but people were excited for it. And that did see it were like, this is the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life. And so I was pretty excited to see it. And in some ways, it lived up to the hype, and in other ways, it was kind of a disappointment. So let me just go into what I liked about the movie first. First off, Michelle Yeoh is great. She kills it. Honestly, she is just fantastic in this movie. I can't imagine like just how many costumes she had to wear like every day. Like making like the finding locations for this movie must have been a pain in the ass, because there's man. But anyways, yeah. There's the whole cast is really good. Stephanie Sue. I'm so sorry. I don't want to mess up anyone's names, but she plays Evelyn's daughter. Evelyn is Michelle Yeoh's character. She plays her daughter, and she's great. I don't want to spoil this movie, so usually I do go into spoilers with my reviews, but with this one I don't, because I want you to really go into this movie and really think about it for yourself. Maybe later on in the review I'll get into spoilers. For now, I want to keep it spoiler free. So, the movie is okay. So, I'm gonna say this right now. I think that the actual parallel universes, everything about that, the logic behind it, to me, was a little flimsy, and it felt just a little bit like convenient. Like, by that I mean Michelle Yeoh's character Evelyn, like, she becomes a master. Well, I guess that's a bit of a spoiler, but it's not really. But she becomes like really, like, I felt like way too easily she figured out what to do and what was going on, you know? Like, it was just kind of like, oh, like, I feel like that would take someone years to get, but she just gets it right there. All right, whatever. But as the movie went on, it went in places that I didn't really expect, and I liked how the film actually did, despite all of the craziness that was going on. It actually did have an emotional center in the middle of all of it. I really liked that. And I also really liked how this film didn't hold your hand. Like, there weren't super crazy 20-minute long exposition dumps about this is how this works and this is how this works. It's just like, hey, like, they just tell you in a few sentences, look, this is how it works, this is how you do it. Either you're with it or you're not, you know? Putting my seat up. So, yeah, I really enjoyed that aspect of the movie. Here's what I wasn't crazy about. First off, for a movie, now it's weird to say this because this is a very fast-paced movie. Like, once it starts, it just goes to the rest of the movie. It is just full sprint to the finish line. But at the same time, there are scenes where I felt like it was dragging a bit. Like, it felt like they had an idea that was really funny, and they just went with it longer than they should have. Like, there's this thing with a raccoon that I don't want to say, that I felt like, as I really did like that scene, but at the same time I felt like it did kind of take up a little too much screen time. I felt like there were ideas in this movie that were just there, and didn't really add anything. Like, there's a scene where somebody attacks somebody else with dildos, and other weird stuff in the movie makes sense, but that just felt like it was there just like, just because it's funny, And, it's not like everything needs a reason to be there, but I did feel like at times that the movie was just like, what's the weirdest thing we can throw at the screen? Yeah, But despite saying that, I did love how odd and bizarre this movie was. I love that it didn't pull any punches with that. Like, this is one of the weird. It reminds me of the show Legion, which obviously Legion isn't the only show to do this, but that show was also very odd every episode. And this movie it's like a big episode of Legion where it's very like it goes from place to place to place, and there's a bunch of weird stuff happening. Sometimes you don't really know what's happening, but like on purpose, not because it's bad. And yeah, I thought this movie had a really good ending. Like it left off very well. However, another issue I have with this movie, and this is really just a me thing, because I know a lot of people are going to connect with this movie, but I never really cared that much. I liked Evelyn as a character, but I never really cared about where her story would end up. I never really thought, I want everybody to be okay. I was along for the ride and I was enjoying it, but I never really cared about the story, or despite the fact that I did say I did like how this movie had substance to it in terms of emotion, it didn't really get to me that much. Like, it was cool, it was well acted, cool, but I didn't really feel anything for these people. I did like that. That's a little hyperbolic. I did like these people, and I did feel happy when they were happy, and I felt sad when they were sad, but I wasn't like super invested in that aspect of the movie. I was more into just the visuals and all that. In terms of the story, I liked it, but I wish I could have been more invested, because as it was, I was like, yeah, this is cool, this is cool, or oh, I'm sad now. But like I felt those things, but I didn't really feel them like I would with other movies. Like, I don't know, like, this is controversial, but I really did like Last Night in Soho. I really did enjoy that film. And I remember watching that movie and really wanting the main character of that movie to be okay. And I really wanted her to, voice crack. But I really cared about her, and I really wanted everything to work out for her in the end. And with this, I just didn't really feel that as much. I did feel it, but not as much. And I don't know. I think the biggest thing that holds this movie back for me is that I just didn't connect with the characters. To me, were good, but not quite amazing. I did like them, but I didn't love them, But that being said, I would still highly recommend this movie. I think it's, if you really like these kinds of movies, you're going to love it. I do love A24 movies. Not all of them, but most of them. And this one was more of a B+ to me. I did like it a lot, but I wouldn't say it's a 10 out of 10. But despite that, I don't want to sound negative. I really did enjoy the film. I thought it dragged in certain areas, but overall, I would recommend it. I liked it more than I disliked it. I have a very positive outlook on it, but I'm just not really passionate about it like I thought I would be, like a lot of other people are, and like I thought it would be. But that's all I have to say. I would still recommend it. Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's a very good movie. It's a movie that I respect a lot, but I don't feel a lot of personal attachment to it. You know what I mean? But I will say this is definitely a movie that I would like to rewatch, and I really think that on a rewatch I will enjoy it more. But as for right now, I think it's good. But I definitely do want to rewatch it, and I definitely do want to really because it is a lot to take in. I really want to watch the movie again, and I want to just take it all, take it all. That's gross. Anyways, yeah, that's about all I have to say. Good movie, not great. I do want to watch it again, and I was gonna say the movie's too long, but I don't think so. I think that I just saw the movie really late and I'm tired, you know what I mean? But hey, still, I had a good time, but I did have issues with it, like I said. So if this sounds like something you'd be into, watch it. As for me, I liked it, but I didn't love it. But on a rewatch, I could really love it. So Thank you all. Next review will probably be, I don't know, probably Fantastic Beasts 3. That's probably a safe bet. I know I said that in the last review, but this time I mean it. Probably the next review will probably be Fantastic Beasts, the secrets of how to make more money off of a dead franchise.